To all the stalkers and creepy people out there who don't seem to know that they're stalkers and don't seem to know that they're creepy, this message is for you. I'm going to actually try to help you guys understand why people are calling you stalkers and why they're calling you creepy and how you can be aware of it, because I think there's something really wrong going on here, and I think I figured it out. I have had stalkers, and it is incredibly creepy and very scary and uncomfortable, so I could only imagine what it's like for women. Oh my God, it must be even 10 times worse. Let me try to speak directly to the stalkers and to the people who are unaware that they're being creepy. Whatever it is that you're thinking in your head, you're imposing and projecting it onto the other person. Now, if the other person ghosts you, disappears on you, stops replying, they're just simply lost interest. They just simply lost interest for some reason, whatever that might be. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter, because the ultimate end result is that for whatever their reason is, they lost interest. For whatever their reason is, they don't think it's going to be compatible. Even if they are attracted to you, even if they do think you're great, you still may have incompatible lives, for example. So whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter what the reason is. The best thing to do is leave them alone and move on. There is nothing you can say or do that's going to change their feeling. Just how you feel so attracted to them and can't understand how they can't feel it to you, they feel the same way, except the opposite. They feel so turned off and so that it won't work out between you and them that they have to move on and go. You understand? And they can't understand why you would want to continue with them. So you have to understand there's nothing you can do to change their mind. The problem is that most stalkers and most creepy people are not aware of the fact that they're being stalkery-esque or creepy because they're just trying to stop this horrible feeling they have inside. And they're trying to assuage their feelings of discomfort. Now, as a comic book artist who makes this kind of stuff here, you know, I guess it's very difficult to get in that mindset, but I'm trying to understand why they would do it. I remember there's this one person I met. Actually, I never met them. I guess you could say they met me online and wanted to meet, and and I was away and I couldn't meet, and they went crazy. They were like, "If you don't meet me, you're gonna pay," and blah blah blah. What are you talking about? I never even spoke to the person online. It was like a message I received and said, "Hi, nice to meet you." That's it. No flirtation, nothing. But they had this whole fantasy projected in their mind. It's terrible. I've also had people like show up at my house, and that was horrible. I mean, what a scary kind of feeling. You know what I mean? So it's a shame that they're unable to see themselves objectively. But the main thing is this: if you're not invited, don't go. Don't come. Play it safe. And I know it might drive you crazy because you can't understand how somebody could think differently than you, but people do think differently than you. That's just the way life is. Just like you're thinking differently than them, they're thinking differently than you. And I know it might be frustrating because you're what I call brain locked onto them, or you're focused onto them. You gotta let that go. And you have to seek help if you can't let it go. It's very, very important that you seek help, because it's only going to cause to misery for you and for the other person. Feelings are very interesting, because isn't it odd that if you are attracted to someone and you do want to hear from them all the time, that's invited, that's not stalkery. But the exact same amount of that person contacting you, if you're turned off and don't want to deal with them, means that they're a stalker. Very, very fine line. Right? You have to kind of know what it is. For me, thankfully, luckily, if I'm interested in someone and they're disinterested in me, the moment that they say they are not interested in dating, I'm done. I have no more interest in them whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, it's their loss. Why? Because I know that I'm a nice, solid, reliable, empathic, caring, and supportive person, and if they don't feel that that's enough for them, they're lost. See what I'm saying? And also, truthfully, seriously, truth be told, sometimes it's not enough because we're just different types. Sometimes I'm not the type that somebody wants. I met this girl, we had a terrific date, everything was fine, but I found out that the guy she ended up dating after, had like a kind of Mr. T mohawk and tattoos all over his body, and was some kind of MMA fighter or something like that. Hey man, we're just different dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's like she likes that taste, and that's her taste. That's fine. You know what I mean? Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like strawberry ice cream. Some people like vanilla ice cream. Whatever it is, you know, you can't hold them at fault to it, or make them accountable for it. You know, I think that's the other thing too. Is I think a big problem in relationships come when guys feel the woman owes them an explanation. You know, and unfortunately, from guy to guy, we know that that's normal, but to a woman that turns them off. Women don't like to be accountable and have to deal with that kind of stuff, you know? So unfortunately, I mean, nobody does. It's not just women. I mean, you know, nobody does. But I'm saying it seems to be more acceptable in society if a girl says, hey, why did you do that? And the guy explains himself. But if it's reversed and the guy says, hey, why did you do that? And the girl has to explain herself. She doesn't like to do that as much. And I think it turns her off. Guys are not necessarily turned off by having to explain themselves per se. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be a little of both. But listen, you know, here's what it is. So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for updates. Peace.